Hey Virgos, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for all of your likes and comments and views and subscribes. My earth signs are just, love y'all. Virgs. Okay, we have the fault line in the desert, the shaman, the shapeshifter, the flame, the bardo, and the sword. I don't hate it, but like we're starting out with some things. And I want to say, like, it's almost just like a mentality shift, right? With the shapeshifter in the desert and the fault line and the shaman, because I feel like the fault line is just like one thing after another thing after another thing after another thing, until it's broken. And was the last one that was like exit the building or a couple of reads ago, but it's just kind of like this, you had to let something go because it just was not going to work. And then you let it go. And I feel like there's just this sense of like, now what? Like, where do I even go? Like almost this sense of just like disbelief. That's what I wanted to say. A sense of disbelief, like I thought that this person was my person. I thought that this job was my job. I thought that was my purpose. I thought. And yet, no matter how hard you tried, like it was like you can't right somebody else's wrong. You can't, clean the room and decorate it when the building's burning down, right? But feeling just very like, almost, I just like, what the fuck, like, well, now what, I've cut these things off. And I have something that I'm really drawn to, but like, is it real? Like, is it solid? Can I stand on it, or will it break? Because it seems like whatever it is, it's something that's just very, I almost want to say like you're aware of it, but like you're not very aware of it. Does that make sense? Because that kind of feels like with the desert too, where you're like, you've been over here, right, trying to clean these rooms in this burning building, and now you're out of the building, and it's like, but like even when you were in here cleaning all these rooms, like life is going on around you, right? And we have an awareness of what, like our friends or our coworkers, or like a friend of a friend, and you're like, I know about this friend of a friend, but I'm not really like aware of this. Like, I don't know this person. I've just like heard things about them, that's kind of like what this energy is. But like, I feel like somehow when you make this break, it almost shifts you in a way that makes you more available. And your availability, I think, is attractive to maybe somebody who's just been like, they saw how dedicated you were to trying to like right these wrongs for this other person, or they saw how dedicated you were to, like you didn't just give up, is what I want to say, Virgs. Like, I know you guys get so much shit, and I get it, right? But that being said, you're dedicated, and you've dedicated yourself to trying to fix something, even though I think everyone else in your life is looking at you like, you can't fix that. And you're like, but I gotta try. And you tried and you tried and you tried until you were forced to let it go. And when you did let it go, it's almost like somebody in your outer realm was paying attention, and they were like, okay, that's the kind of person that I want to work with, right? Some of you you're actually aligned with. Virgs, okay. Much excite, yes. Oh my gracious, y'all, it is so cold today. I'm like, I just want to bust these out and go back inside. I gotta buy a coat, unless I can make it down to southern Colorado and retrieve mine from the chaos. Maybe. Okay. Five of Swords, feeling under attack. You know, I almost wonder if some of you all are dealing with like a relationship that's very jealous and possessive. You know, and it's like sometimes you encounter those types of relationships, or you know, like you see people in those types of relationships, and I don't know, like I always feel kind of bad for both of them, because it's like I understand, you know, like you're protective of your whoever, your family, your relationships, your friends, your, you know, like your job, you want to go in and you want to do your best. You're protective of it. But there's a line, you know, between being protective and just being like unnecessarily possessive. And I kind of feel like whatever situation you were dealing with people who were unnecessarily possessive. So that if you weren't 110% focused on their issues all the time, then you were doing something wrong, you know, because part of the reason that you were dedicating so much of your time and your energy is because if you didn't, dear God, would you hear about it? You know what I mean? Like it was going to be held over your head, and you were going to be, you know, like it was all going to be your fault. And I feel like it was restrictive, and you couldn't breathe, but you were like, I'm trying to like, I think of like somebody who's drowning, and you're trying to resuscitate somebody, but you're out of air and now you're drowning, you know? And it's just kind of like, it's time for you to move on and up and away from that, because you can't resuscitate it. But the fact that you tried so hard, again, I think has just gotten somebody's attention. Or you could be on the other side of the fence, take it how it resonates. You know, it could be that you have been paying attention to somebody and you see how they behaved, and now they're free, or now that job is open and available, or however it plays out for you, and you're like, that's what I want, so I'm going to show up as, you know, like the free and you know, single and ready to mingle version of myself, I guess. However it plays out for you. The Knight of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, because I just feel like there's a sense of like holding on to something, you know, and like waiting until you hear that call, until you hear that opportunity, which again, you know, like it's this idea of like waiting for that job to be available, waiting for that person to be available, or somebody watching you and like waiting until they saw that it was a good time to go for you, because they were holding on to this new beginning. And it's the Ace of Pentacles in this deck is kind of like the idea of like small beginnings, and you know, like don't bat an eye at a small beginning, because sometimes the most beautiful things and the best things in the world come from small beginnings. I feel like Virgos are the last people on the earth that you need to remind that, because you're so like detail oriented that you like to focus on the little things. But you know, maybe part of it is that it's a small new beginning because you're fresh off this end, right? And you're like, okay, like I'm fresh off all this. And I'm excited to do this new beginning, but you know, like, let me get comfortable in it, you know, is kind of like what I feel like there. Virgs. Okay. The Hierophant. And the Knave of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like it's just this idea of like, listen, I know that you know what you're doing. And I want to present this opportunity to you. I feel like even if you're not in close relationship with this person, or if it's like business and you were working with a company and they have a partner company that they work with, or you know, like a vendor company that they work with, and this vendor company knows that that company has a bad reputation, but they've seen how hard you've worked and how dedicated you've been to that role. They're like, hey, come work with us. You know, and you're like, well, you know, like maybe I can just like start out part-time, or I can, you know, like there's just kind of this like tiptoeing into it, you know, or maybe they want to hire you on full-time, but they want to move you up the ladder really quickly, you know, but Maybe you don't know that they want to move you up the ladder quickly. You're just getting through the door, but like they want you through that door for a reason. All right, Virgs, let's do one more card for y'all and we'll call it a read. The womb. Yes, because again, I feel like the idea here is that you've been so dedicated to, you know, like trying to secure what was falling apart, was crumbling before you, and people were watching how hard you would work, and they recognized like how dedicated and secure of a person you really are. And I love that, because you deserve to be recognized for your gifts and talents, Virgs. It's enough of all of the criticisms, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. On to the next. I love this so much for y'all. I hope that it resonates. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if it does, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.